Jumping up, everybody. There we go, we're on. We're back on.
Back on the record, it's 10:52. I have,
Told me you wanted two for them.
I'm good.
Oh, okay. I'm
I'll
sorry.
go
that-
with both
Okay.
Okay, I have one extra one. Good one, sure. All right, so these are some proposals, certainly not nowhere near all of them, it's just to kind of just put some out there. Article 2, Section F, bargaining unit work. This proposal is not new. I believe this is a similar proposal from previous years of bargaining. But our only concern is that that specifically for reducing or avoiding overtime, that supervisors can start performing bargaining unit work would be an issue with us. Obviously, if there's an unforeseen issue, a lot of absenteeism or something along those lines is understandable. But this proposal should look familiar to you from previous years.
All right, other than the fact that you liked the proposal the first time you made it, what's happened since the contract went into effect
I still like
that
it.
stimulates the need for it?
I still like it.
So there's really been no operational, there's not been a rash of supervisors bumping people out of overtime,
I
right?
don't know how you define a rash, but there hasn't been a widespread abuse of this lately. Okay, at the time there was some issues that came up, so there's nothing wrong with having proposals to address issues before they happen. I don't think there's any, in fact, I know there's no requirement that proposals have to be issue driven. So we're trying to avoid issues, and that's the reason why we have some of these proposals.
Well, you were concerned originally that, the county would abuse this provision, but I think we've proven that we have not.
I like the way you talk, because if that's the way you're going to take that position about whether something was abused or not,
I'm talking about this article.
well,
You could raise
if
it,
you-
you could raise it.
If your argument works for this article, it should work for all
Well,
articles.
you could try in some other article, we're talking about this article.
Okay, well, this is our proposal, you understand
So,
that.
all
Article
right,
6.
but it's not driven by anything that's happened on the ground.
Not recently,
Okay.
yeah, not recently,
All right.
but I certainly foresee things happening. Excuse me?
Foreseen, it's
I
okay.
do foresee them, because of some of the other contract language that we have proposed, it may be an issue.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, Article 6, contract negotiations. This proposal is just to have the 6 employees who are designated by the union to have granted paid leave to attend these meetings. We feel that there's no reason why these employees should be suffering economically. We shouldn't be relying upon other people donating time. We shouldn't be relying upon other members in our local union donating time, because that's where our revenue comes from to attend these meetings. So our proposal is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Article 9, discipline for just cause. I don't recall any cases going to the personnel board, at least since I've been negotiating with this group. I've never seen the personnel board. We've never had a case go to the personnel board. I often joke and wonder if there even is a personnel board. And certainly since you have come on, Barbara, and we've been working together, I'm not aware of any cases going before the personnel board. I'm not in a position to tell you you shouldn't have a personnel board, but I would like the opportunity to just move the case through the grievance procedure like every other employer that we have, as opposed to relying upon a board that I've never seen or not even sure exists. So our proposal is just simply that if we want to bypass the personnel board, that we can. That's in B.
There is a board, and it sounds like with, at least with respect to this contract, they're doing a perfect job.
Perfect job, because they don't meet, I guess, right? That's what
We
perfect
only
job-
meet, they're a
Yeah.
grievance board, basically, the personal board is the grievance board, so
So there's a grievance board?
that's what they are. I mean, the purpose of the personnel board is to hear grievances that rise to that level. Obviously, grievances in your contract go, because they have to arbitration. grievances for discipline, if it ended up going that way, would go to that personnel board. We haven't had one that has gone that far, but should a grievance go to that next step, it would be the personnel board, which really is served as a grievance board.
C. Appealing, the line that struck out, the sentence that struck out, when appealing discipline, the burden of proof is on the employee to establish that discipline was without just cause. That is a complete 180 from every grievance committee, every arbitration hearing I've ever attended. It's just something that just doesn't make sense. The burden of proof is always on the employer to establish that just cause existed. So our proposal is deleting that sentence. F, I've heard you say, Barbara, you don't really care what time limit, or that there should be a time limit on letters of protest or protest letters. So our proposal is just reflecting your comments that just take the 10-day limitation out of there, time limit. If it's not needed, it's not needed. G, the time limits of sunsetting of discipline, proposal to shorten those time limits of 5 years and 7 years to 2 years and 4 years. The 2 years applying to written reprimands, and then the suspensions sunsetting after 4 years. Seniority, Article 34. Our proposal is to replace the existing Section C. I don't know why there's an E under Section 2. Usually, this is probably a formatting thing, but Section 2 would be a new subsection, so the letters would generally start over and probably doesn't need a letter in there, so just propose to strike the letter E. Replacing 3 with this language, that's broken up into different sections. Section 3 is work site locations and shift selection, giving employees an opportunity, to undo some of the wrongs that have happened in this county with respect to employees being transferred to another part of the county as a form of punishment. Over the years, this has happened quite a few times. We've had many discussions about this in this room. And so upon ratification, there will be a window period that employees could utilize their classification and departmental seniority to be in a worksite location or on a shift, if there is any shift differences to select from which they can make those requests. And understanding that there may not be room for them to go somewhere, so the person who's the least senior in that particular location would be displaced, and they would have the same rights. So there would be a little bit of an adjustment period to where employees who are effectively bumped or displaced, they would have the ability to utilize the same language and to find a location that's suitable to them if there's more than one option. Section 4, overtime and equipment selection. And I heard what you said, Barbara, loud and clear last time, that you didn't want to rely upon departmental seniority applying for everything. So, can you just shut that thing up? So this doesn't require us to continue to work out procedures, because for some reason you seem to think that was problematic. It worked well in Hernando County. And so this just basically spells it out, because you said you didn't want to have something that was relying upon further agreeing, and if we didn't agree, then it just defaults to departmental seniority. So that's the reason why I came up with this proposal. Well, Section 4, again, overtime and equipment selection seniority within occupational groups, which are defined, don't be legal for overtime assignments, and county equipment where applicable, provided the remaining employees can competently perform the available work. And I know from experiences that when you have an occupational group that goes out, you may only have one of each employee, so there is nothing that they can opt to turn down, because everybody in that particular operational or occupational group, I'm sorry, is required to stay and required to do work. But in those circumstances where not everybody is required to stay, then they would be able to utilize their seniority rights to be the one that's allowed to go home, if anybody's allowed to go home based on their seniority within that occupational group. Section 5, open bargaining unit position. This is a basic hire or promote from within clause. And then,
Just an editorial note on this, we don't agree to language, and would not agree to language that says what the policy of the Board of County Commissioners are. If we write language and the commission, the Board of County Commissioners ratifies the contract, that's a reflection of what their policy is, but we don't bind them to policy by contract.
well, referring to the Board of County Commissioners as an employer, so if it suits better to say policy of the county, then that's fine.
Or we just say whatever the policy is would be spelled out, and if it's ratified. that
Well, I don't know if it
would be
is a policy. So I don't know if it's.
Not getting it ratified would mean it's not, getting it ratified would mean it is.
Well, it would be, you can have contract language and not necessarily policy. So, you know, and there are employers, I'll take Citrus County USCC, that it is a policy. That is a policy. Hernando, I believe, is a policy as well. But, you know, so if it's better to insert the word the county, to be policy of the county, that's fine. I don't care. The end result is we want to have people being promoted from within the bargaining unit first. If you can't find somebody who's suitable for the job, no one meets the qualifications, you can't fill a position, then you go outside and look for outside candidates or hire outside candidates. I don't think I need to read this entirely, then you guys can read it yourself. Moving to the next page, training, section 5, training. If the county decides that additional training is necessary for a specific job classification, training will be offered to those in that specific job classification based on departmental seniority. I'll use an example of this. If you have equipment, heavy equipment, and there's a new piece of equipment that comes to a specific part of the county, let's just say it's landscaping or mowing. Then it's a new type of mower, it's cutting edge technology, the county just bought this piece of equipment, then they should be allowed to train, the members should be allowed to train on that equipment, offer that training. If everybody's gonna be offered training, it's not an issue. And it's been problematic that certain people will only be offered the training on a piece of new equipment, and then when a job opening comes up, they're the only one who's eligible because the county didn't offer the training. Layoff and recall. This is pretty extensive language. You guys can just review it at your convenience. Displacement, section 7. This applies to job eliminations. This might be something that, and it would affect her if there's a library that's being closed, and it's not something that an employee is making a decision to decide they want to move or transfer in a county position, but it's something that's being handed down because of an operational need or the county's management rights. Then there's a mechanism and a procedure to follow for what happens when people are being displaced.
It's a bumping provision, right?
Well, yeah, it could be.
It's a bumping rights.
And then Article 39, our proposal is to add an additional bulletin board at the East Pasco Government Center, which is located in the city. I've been there a couple of times, I don't really know specifically where the bulletin boards are, but show the space to those are the proposals to get started with.
Okay, well, I mentioned Article 2, we'll get a complete proposal on that. contract negotiations, Article 6, I mean, my inclination is we just set up a union leave bank, which the whole purpose is obviously for your employees to support your negotiations. That benefits your employees, obviously.
Yeah, but we're not interested in that.
Yeah.
And we're county employees. We happen to be union members, but we're county employees.
Yeah, and you have county job descriptions that don't include your role working on behalf of the union.
Right.
But we are filling somewhat of a management or disciplinary role because among our ranks, we felt that need to.
That's between you and your members.
Right.
And
Yeah, it's
you're-
obviously
Well,
not
let
the
me put it
same
this way, this
as-
is the only employer that we deal with that requires a leave bank that is dependent upon people contributing to it. In Hernando County, there's a union leave bank, but the employer of the county puts time in. That's the only one. All the other employers we deal with, it's just done on clock, which is something we do.
Okay, we've discussed it.
Yeah,
so-
I've never worked in a place that did that, and I can tell you our fire union even has a union leave bank, and they use the union leave through their own membership, so.
Oh, I understand now, that's fire, and that's the way they do it.
Yeah.
That's the way they do it.
I think, you know, it's not the law, but it's a shame it's not the law, is that all members of the bargaining unit should be required to make a donation to a union pool. Of course, I know you can't do that, but that's a fault in the law.
Well, there's a fault in the town part of it.
Because everybody's getting a free ride.
Again, it goes back further than that, just the whole idea of right to work is a scam. So, I agree with you on that.
All right, the rest of it, we'll have to, obviously,
The sooner you can respond to our seniority rights language, probably the better.
okay, well, why don't we set up another meeting then, and we'll just set it up for, let's talk about, you mentioned health insurance, and I just want to make sure that we're going into benefits open enrollment. Not that, I mean, obviously the current contract isn't in effect for this benefits issue, but was there any issue that you needed to address, or?
Well, when we get further into bargaining, I don't recall any specific issues at this point in time. I mean, we have some, other comments made on our surveys and stuff, but when we get into more of the economics, we'll
Okay.
talk more about that.
All right.
But
Because we're getting into benefits open enrollment, and so if we want to set up another meeting, and then we'll have the proposals back to you, and I'll try and have them, if we set the meeting far enough out, probably just after benefits open enrollment concludes, then I should be able to have all the proposals, our proposals to you, so that you guys can review them as a group before you come back, so maybe that will work. We'll set something
it's
up.
legal, I don't know how legal that is. but-
So you have other articles, but no written proposals yet that you do want to talk about?
Yeah, there's undoubtedly going to be other proposals. You came here today with none, and we came
Well,
here
we
with
took you
some.
through the entire list where we thought would be.
Yeah, but you didn't worry about proposals. so-
No, that's true, but can you do the same? Can you tell us what articles you contemplate maybe having
It
proposed on?
depends, I mean, a lot depends on the response to our seniority proposals.
Well, that's not going to exist in the void, so.
It's not gonna work.
That's not going to exist in a void, your proposal. We got to view it against the backdrop of what else is out there. So if you think you're going to carve out the seniority article.
Well, it's not a matter of carving anything out, it's a matter of seeing,
It's not going to happen.
it's not a matter of carving anything out, it's a matter of what the county's position is with respect to us having some movement on seniority rights. And if it's a matter of no union, we're not interested, I mean, I basically, I heard what you said when you were going through the proposals, that your only proposal on seniority rights would effectively be doing away with the two groups that currently have seniority rights. So if your proposal is not only doing away with the two that have it and then we're rejecting every one of our proposals, the sooner we can reach that conclusion, it might be the better for us to see, for our bargaining strategy as to what we're going to do.
Well, in fairness to whatever you've proposed on seniority, and I haven't read it in its entirety because it's a long provision, the process would be to let every department head take a look at what you've proposed and
Right.
provide some feedback.
Why isn't every department head in here?
Because it's a waste of their
Because we have
time to be here.
57.
We negotiate on behalf of them, but we take input from them.
Right, so
Yeah,
we'll go back,
I
I'll
thought-
go back immediately and give them. the
Well, I've
proposal.
heard this before, and it's just, once again, you know, a department head, I would imagine is not going to be in favor of seniority rates. They never have been.
That's true.
So that's not, that doesn't work for us. That doesn't work for us. You're going back to, you're telling your department heads, listen, I just need you to take a look at this and let me know what your opinion. Hell no, I don't want that, I'm not agreeing to it.
Well,
Okay, next, hell no, I don't want that, I'm not agreeing to it. So that doesn't accomplish what we need to do.
Well,
I
our-
disagree.
Yeah, our
Because you-
interest is this, you know, we come to the
Right.
table to negotiate in good faith, and I may look at this language and say, this is just more of the same what we heard last time, but there may be department heads that'll look at it and say, here's how this would affect my department going forward. I'm not interested in what happened, you know, before the union was formed, which, you know, is dredged up every now and then about, you know, why you need this so much, but I'm interested in how it would affect operations going forward. I don't work in the department. It's important for me to understand their point of view on it, so that when we discuss it, I could say something to you that's fact-based, not, you know, not based on some historical, you know, event that probably never even happened.
Okay, well, your interpretation of historical events that never even happened are things that happen on a weekly basis that I get phone calls from, and I'm not interested in sharing with you every little detail of them. And I know that's what you're gonna ask me for, because you've done in the past, and it's not my responsibility, and I'm not going to do it. I can tell you unequivocally that there is a good old boy network here that's alive and well. Historically and factually, it's been alive and well for decades, and that's the culture that we're trying to change. But you don't care. And apparently, the people who are perpetuating this good old boy network or culture are not interested in changing, or they would voluntarily change it. So to go to them and ask them, hey, do you want to change the way you're doing things because the union thinks it's more fair? What do you think the response is going to be? It's a stupid question. The question is, no, we're not interested in changing anything, especially when you say that the two departments that actually have seniority, you want to do away with that. So, what, you know, where do we go from here? Either you're going to agree with us to change the culture here, or you're not. And if you're not, then we just might as well know sooner than later.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, so if you want to set up another meeting, like I said, give us
Dates?
some time. We're looking at the benefits open enrollment concludes the benefits fair is August 8th, 9th, and 10th, and then the following week is all enrollment. So the week of August 21st, and that should give me enough time to get the stuff back to you, to get to the departments with this, get some feedback, and then we can set meetings going forward. So August, the week of the 21st would be,
End of the week's
It's
better.
not till August.
maybe
Everybody's schedule.
Thursday the 24th?
I'm all over that we did it.
You're
The
not,
whole week?
Well, I'm not available Monday, I'll be swamped on Friday, and Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we're out of town.
How about Monday the 28th?
We can't meet again until late August?
well, we
That's a
can meet
long
again,
time.
but if we come and meet and tell you, okay, we didn't do anything, in the meantime, because we didn't have time, I mean, that doesn't seem very, you know, productive either. So, I mean, we're just getting into benefits open enrollment, my office is gonna be buried, so,
Okay.
and I wanna have some time to get out to the departments to get
Well,
their
I
feedback.
have the week of the 7th, at least 7th to the 10th.
What,
Take a look at the week of the 28th.
or maybe
Well, we're
the,
trying to get it sooner rather than later, so.
how about,
We have 7, 8, 9, and 10 wide open.
that's our benefits fair. Literally, I just sent an email out to all the people saying that's our benefits fair week, and so I would probably say the 17th in the morning I could probably do.
That'll work.
Yeah, I'm holding that time too,
For what?
for hearing.
17th. Okay, let's do that. Can we do that?
Sure.
17th,
Could do 9 AM, or does it have to be,
9 AM works for me. Are we done?
And then I'll try and have, like I said, the PTO proposal to you. We may have the wage, we have the concept, so I don't know what you want on wages and exactly. I can tell you that
Tell you
we're
what
not
I
going
want.
to, well, I can tell you that we're not going to be amenable to anything that allows you to grieve an evaluation. So if you're gonna.
We're gonna have a problem there.
Okay.
The only way you can get a raise is based on an evaluation, and we can't agree that.
Well, it's-
We'll ahead of the impasse, because we're just not
Okay.
gonna agree to that.
That may be the case, because we're obviously going to want to tie it to merit, and we're not going to entertain, 1,000 grievances because I don't agree I should have got a 3, I think I should have got a 4, we're just not gonna do that. So, I mean, if that's where we're heading, well, like I said, I guess it's better to know sooner than later. Certainly you don't have to participate in the merit part, but that's 2%, so, of the COLA, so.
Well, if what's worked well for us in Hernando, was having you can just look at their.
I'll find out. I speak to them obviously every day, as you know, and what you seem to think works well there, I will tell you, don't seem to think it works well there, so,
Well, you
I mean,
can
a lot of
talk
the
to
feedback, that's true.
Talk to the employees, and if you talk to the,
Your concept of grievance, though, over evaluation must not be the grievance that's described in the collective bargaining agreement, because I can't believe even the Teamsters would want to commit to paying an arbitrator to try to figure out whether an evaluation is proper or not.
we don't, like I said, what we have in Hernando works well for us.
And where does that end? Do you remember?
Yeah, I do remember. But she talks to them every day, so.
Do you have their language? Or,
Talk to them every day.
okay, I'll get it. It's not big. Yes, actually. Okay.
And I do agree, I'm not interested in having a multitude of grievances. But at the same time, if somebody is legitimately tanked on their evaluation and there's nothing to justify it, nothing to back it up, and that couldn't possibly be fair, considered fair. So,
Okay, well, I'll see what Hernando has and see when it works, and are they using, well, I'll find out.
Talk to them every day.
I do talk to them every day.
We can wait and look at
One-
your proposal too, so.
I have no
So there's no
choice.
misunderstanding, and they don't sway us on it. Why don't we wait for your proposal? You'll make it at the next bargaining session.
I don't have a proposal. Our proposal is that evaluations are not affecting raises. That's what our proposal is. If you need one, I'll just tell you what it is. So if you're
So you'd rather
comfortable-
just have a straight negotiated base wage increase for your members?
It seems to work better for us than having things that are affected by supervisors that may have personal issues with an employee or even, personality issues with an employee that never seems to end well for us. But the across-the-board increases generally work out better for us. But in Hernando, there was a bit of a compromise and, that's something that, so I don't need to give a proposal, you already have it. Our proposal is that
There'll be no merit increases.
our proposal is that increases are not based on evaluations. Let me say, anything other than that. You guys, I would imagine you're not interested in entertaining a step plan. Are you?
No,
So we'll take
which is
two-
what Hernando has, which is why I'm wondering
takes
how this
two-
tied
two
there.
parties to agree to that.
Right.
All right, we're done?
So, August 17th, but.
August 17th, yep.
Email stuff ahead of time.
I'll try and email as much as I possibly
All right, we're
can.
done at 11:20.
Well, I have a Kelly Cahill wants to set up a meeting, or,
Go to her department. She has to work through her department. She hasn't done
I
it.
thought she did.
No, she did not.
Okay, I told her to make sure
She
she.
did not.
Okay.
I got a call from her.
Okay.
When I called her department department heads.
Can you scan it and email it to me?
What is it?
Okay. Like I said, I told her to make sure she follows.
Yeah, she has one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have an email?
It has to go to the department head. If you want to CC me, that's fine. I mean, if the contract
I have
says.
a brand new computer that I like, but so far I haven't been able to get into it at least twice since I've set it up because of the password.
So busy. Because
No, at home, but just, this is my one at home. And, I don't know, I'm hard to deal with. I know I'm using the right password, but for some reason it's not letting me in. So, thank you.
Only working two.
That's it, you got it.
I can always back it out of the wage. So I'll write it for everybody. Unlimited candy.
There you go.
Okay.
Have a good day, guys.
Bye-bye.